Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to another fabulous speed paint very well by the Spicy Strawberry. That's a very spicy strawberry. Like a very spicy meatball, but it's a spicy strawberry. Anyway, we're going to start off by putting liquid white on the canvas, and nobody wants to watch that because it takes forever. So I'm speeding it up, and if you're wondering about the lady friend in the picture, it's my girlfriend. So there you go. So we're starting off with some yellow, and we're going to do the standard crisscross strokes across the canvas to get rid of all the brush strokes. And then we're going to do something fancy today, and we're going to put it in the water. We're going to reflect the sky in the water, and it's going to be awesome. So, to do that, all you need to do is treat it exactly like water, and you pull from the outside inward in streaks across the canvas, just kind of like that. And it's really easy to do. And it's okay if it's diluted because it's a reflection, it's not the real thing, so the reflection is of course going to be diluted and it doesn't matter. So, we're going to start out with yellow, and then a darker yellow, and then go into some red, and then even some purple. So you can see the top red is a lot brighter than the bottom red, because the bottom red's in the water and it's not as bright, so that's just fine. Don't worry about it, it's fine. And I'm going to keep a little white streak in the middle because that's the horizon, and that separates the sky from the river, or sky from the water. Could be a river, I don't really know. It's just a body of water. But anyway, take a dry brush and go ahead and blend that together so that everything doesn't look all streaky and a bunch of lines. Everything looks nice and blended together to how you want it. And to blend the water, all you do is do the same way that you made it, is a streak across. And you blend it until you like it, basically. And then I'm going to put in some distant clouds. Sometimes they're super fluffy, sometimes they're just lines in the distance because they're really far away. And you know, maybe it's not all that cloudy today. So I don't have that many clouds. It's just big. It's not that big a deal. It's fine. So I'm going to put a few clouds in there, and then something I like about having it having the canvas tilted sideways and on its side instead of being up and down, so it's more stretched from left to right instead of top to bottom, is that you can make things really long ways. So you can make really big mountain ranges, and you can make really long forests and really long islands and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that. Make a really long mountain range. And using the knife to make the outline, and then using a brush to pull it all down to make it all misty so it just kind of goes into nothing, and then putting highlight on. And it doesn't always have to be snow. I mean, it's really bright out, but it doesn't have to be snow all the time. So I'm just going to use a bluish gray color for the highlight to make it look like a bluish gray rocky mountain, because it doesn't always have to be snow. Sometimes it's just rocks, sometimes it's just gravel. It's not always snowy, and everywhere in the world. Some places it's kind of sunny. So I'm going to go ahead and put the shadows on, and the only thing that I would have changed about this is that the base color, since it's over top of yellow, it doesn't stand out all that well. It needs to be a hell of a lot darker. So I kind of had a little problem with that, and as you can see, the highlights and the shadows stand out really well, but the color underneath it is not coming out very well. So if I was going to do this painting again, I would definitely make the undercolor a lot darker, and it'd be a lot more fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think this goes darker, or goes farther down. So I'm pulling the highlight down farther, and then sometimes right here, like, you think the base can come out more. So I'm going to put another face right here, put some highlight over it, and then you got to have a part for your shadow. So pulling it out with the highlight, and then I'm putting a shadow directly on the other side, and then I'm pulling all the highlight down here, and look, even this shadow part comes down even further. I mean, I just decided to do that. You can have your lights and shadows wherever you think they go, wherever you think they go. If you think it goes there, then it goes there, because it's your world, it's nobody else's, and nobody can tell you what to do. So I just patted down the mountain with a dry brush to make it look like mist, and if you don't like those streaks that are near the bottom of it, you can go ahead and put stuff over it. So I'm just going to put some little foothills way back in the distance, and when I'm putting these down, I'm pulling up a little bit to make it look like distant trees, and then I'm also pulling down to make a reflection in the water. So you got to have the reflection, and you got to have the distant trees. And the only thing I would have changed about that is I would have put them closer so they don't just look like floating strips of land. And then if you can't tell, my camera crapped out, so it sped forward because me and my girlfriend did not realize that it wasn't recording because it was dead. So we went and charged it, and I just put in a bunch of dark color and a bunch of dark evergreens, and then now I'm coming back and putting the highlights on. And make sure when you do your highlights, you don't make it all the same color. Make different shades of green, so light greens, dark greens, etc., etc. And then I'm coming back and I'm putting a little tree trunk in all of my evergreens, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. And make sure when you're highlighting it, you don't block all the tree trunks, and leave in some dark colors, because you got to have tree trunks, you got to have dark colors. Make sure those things are still in there so people can still see them, because that's a detail that people like to look at, or especially I like to look at. So here's my bravery test. I'm going to make a cottage because on my 1 year of painting I said I could do anything, and I strongly believe that. So right here I'm not committed at all. I'm just doing an outline with a knife, pulling off color to make it stick easier when I go put color on. So if I wanted to, I could just cover it up with bushes right now, and you would have never known that I was going to try to do a cabin there. So I'm going to go ahead and make the roof and put brown on. But as you'll see in a sec, the camera's going to crap out again for some reason, and it's going to skip forward to a done cabin. And all I did was mix some colors together, and I put some highlight on that. And then I used a little dark gray and blue for the roof to make it look like tiles. And then for boards on the side, I just kind of tapped it with a knife in a straight line to make it look like boards. And I even made a picket fence. And to make the, well, yeah. So that's all the time I had. The video crapped out a lot. It sucks. I can't do anything about it. Hopefully next one will be a lot more together and fully recorded. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and favorite, and I'll see you guys next time.